Jose Dwayne Ricardo Onfroy, or commonly known in the rap community as XXXTentacion, was a famous rapper who has since tragically passed. His rise to fame was quite fast, taking the community by storm and accumulating a huge following from across the globe. XXXTentacion, though very talented, was always viewed as a controversial figure due to his widely known and publicized troubles with the law. He went on to a juvenile detention center as a child and had quite a tough upbringing, which could explain why he has managed to rank up quite an extensive criminal history. In today's video, we're going to discuss the criminal history of XXXTentacion before his unfortunate passing. But before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on so you don't miss any of the new videos that we post. Interact with us, subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified when we upload more content. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button and leave a comment down below. Thanks! XXXTentacion pre-2014. XXXTentacion grew up in Florida towns of Pompano Beach and Lauderhill. He lived with his mother, whom he said had it tough, and his grandmother on occasion. My mom was in situations where she couldn't take care of me, he said in an interview in the No Jumper podcast. He hadn't been involved in violent situations since he was a child. He said, "I've been fighting since I was a child." He attempted to stab a man who was messing with his mother when he was just 6 years old. Due to fighting, he was also expelled from his middle school. X became interested in music and rap when he was in his early teens. He was drawn to new metal, hard rock, and of course, rap music. He attempted to teach himself how to play guitar and piano. His mother and aunt even enrolled him in chorus in middle school to help him foster his passion for music, but he was eventually kicked out after punching his classmate. 2012 to 2014. Before dropping out of 10th grade, XXXTentacion attended Piper High School in Sunrise, Florida. He claims to have recorded and published a song around this time, but there is no record of it online. XXXTentacion served 9 months in a juvenile detention center on a gun possession conviction charge sometime in 2013 to 2014. It was during this time he met Ski Mask, the Slump God, a fellow and rapper friend. The two eventually collaborated on a number of projects. April 2016. On the hip-hop podcast No Jumper, dubbed the Paris Review for the Face Tattooed Collection by John Caramanica of the New York Times, XXXTentacion does his first long-form interview. He talks about his tumultuous life and his time in juvenile prison. He tells a detailed story about abusing a cellmate and describes every violent act. Following the confession that he wiped the man's blood from his hands, Adam, 22, a podcast host, responds with a shocking response. War paint, that's tight. May 2016. Around this time, XXXTentacion meets his girlfriend who ends up being his domestic abuse victim. Domestic abuse reportedly occurs for the first time. According to his ex testimony, girlfriends XXXTentacion threatened to use a barbecue cleaner or a barbecue fork to penetrate her private area. Following this traumatizing event, they moved out of Orlando, Florida. The second suspected incident of abuse happened after the move. According to testimony, XXXTentacion kicked, hit, stomped on, and tackled his then girlfriend when he heard her singing another artist's song. Apparently, according to the witness, he then threatened to cut off her tongue. This sounds intense, and we can just imagine how scared it must have been for his then girlfriend / current ex-girlfriend. August to October 2016. XXXTentacion was arrested in 2015 on the charges of robbery and assault. In Fort Lauderdale, he was being held at the Broward Regional Detention Center. He was then released from prison after agreeing to house arrest. After she confessed to sleeping with another guy, he allegedly assaulted his ex-girlfriend again. He put a knife to her throat, strangled her a little bit, and tried to strike her with a glass bottle, according to her testimony. XXXTentacion relocated to Sweeterwater, Florida, with his then girlfriend. According to the testimony in Pitchfork, XXXTentacion was accused of strangling her on 2 occasions during this time. His ex-girlfriend then found out she was pregnant with their child. Several incidents of domestic abuse are alleged to have occurred over the span of 2 days. He threatened to kill her and her unborn child, according to XXXTentacion's ex-girlfriend's testimony, before elbowing, hitting, and kicking her. He declined to let her leave the apartment when she begged other tenants to drive her to the hospital. He told her she had to wait before her face healed before she could go. Of course, it had been badly beaten. After that, XXXTentacion and his housemates drove her to another apartment where they locked her in a room and took her phone. She was held captive for 2 days before she managed to flee and contact the authorities on October 8th. He was then charged with aggravated assault on a pregnant woman, domestic battery by strangulation, false imprisonment, and witness tampering in Miami-Dade County. He entered a not guilty plea, but Broward County detained him for breaching his house arrest arrangement. 2017. XXXTentacion's manager, Adam, 22, announced his hiring. He tweeted, "XXX is out in a few weeks and I'm handling him." Although XXXTentacion was in prison for the next few months, Adam, 22, uses his own Twitter handle to keep his fans up to date on XXXTentacion's whereabouts. Other rappers such as A$AP Rocky and many more shared their support for X while he was behind bars. In March, he pleaded no contest to his charges of armed home invasion, robbery, and battery and was then released from jail, being put on probation. In October, XXXTentacion got into another brawl with a fan during his set at the Rolling Loud Festival in the Bay Area. In a video of the incident, XXXTentacion can be seen hitting a member of the audience in the head with his microphone. On his Instagram account, he announced that he was no longer signed to Capitol Records. "I'm terminating my contract with Capitol Records," he said, following, "If you can match my alleged previous contract and add free international travel and free international stay, I would be happy to be in business with you. I am currently a free agent." Well, I always was. XXXTentacion said in another Instagram story that he will not be producing or publishing any song. He wrote, "I'm tired of being emotionally exploited for attempting to support others. I'm tired of the hatred. I'm done." He was obviously going through a rough time and was acting out consistently, getting in unnecessary fights with his fans and those around him. In December, XXXTentacion and his attorney sent a letter to the district attorney's office, reportedly signed by his ex-girlfriend, in the hopes of having his domestic assault lawsuit dismissed. The log, according to TMZ, notes all XXXTentacion's victim was refusing to cooperate with the investigators and wants the case dropped. He was charged with 7 additional counts, including various degrees of witness tampering and witness assault, ahead of his violence trial. Prosecutors believe the rapper forced his ex-girlfriend to sign previously submitted papers claiming she wanted the charges dropped, according to TMZ. According to TMZ, XXXTentacion would be released from custody and put under house arrest for 2 months before his trial. According to his lawyer, David Bogenschutz, the judge would allow the rapper to visit a local recording studio during this period to satisfy his contractual obligation. 2018, XXXTentacion's Bad Vibes Forever label launched his second studio album. Carolina Distribution, a subsidiary of Capitol Records, was in charge of the album's distribution. It debuted at #1 on the Billboard album chart with 131,000 units sold in its first week. According to TMZ, he was then released from house arrest in order to go on tour. X's legal team claimed that in the report that he would require touring revenue to keep afloat because his earnings from album sales were insufficient. In late March, his sophomore album debuted #1 on the Billboard charts, which meant that it gave SoundCloud Rap its first #1 album, a huge moment for the underground platform. Sad, one of the 2 singles from his album, reached #7 on the Billboard Hot 100, which ultimately became his first top 10 song. In May, in line with the recent hate content and hateful conduct policy, Spotify removed XXXTentacion's music from its playlist. His representatives released a statement in which they mentioned other artists who have been accused of violence and wondered if they would be punished as well. But quickly after this, in early June, Spotify got rid of its hate content policy following many complaints, and his music was reinstated. XXXTentacion was the subject of an extensive profile in the Miami New Times detailing his alleged abuse, including interviews with his accuser. In it, XXXTentacion dismisses feminism, saying women may see or feel that they're belittled, but you're only belittled if you want to be belittled. He used Hillary Clinton as an example. She ran for president and she wasn't killed for it. That says everything, he said in the post/Me Too era allegations can go off hearsay and women are almost more powerful than men. Sadly, short after, on June 18, 2018, he was reported dead following an alleged drive-by shooting which occurred outside of a motorcycle shop in Deerfield Beach, Florida. At the time of this shooting, he was awaiting his trial. There you have it, XXXTentacion and his troubled criminal past. Although he was an incredible rapper, no doubt about that, he still had quite a troubled background and got himself tied up in many horrible, unjustifiable behaviors. It was very upsetting to his cult-like following when he passed away and definitely shocked the rap world. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss any of our new content. Thanks for watching.